Hello, hello, and welcome once again. J76NY here, and we are back in the palace at Holsword. This is episode number 3 of our For the People playthrough on Suzerain. The last episode we got into a little bit of the policy making. We're going to be continuing with more exciting meetings, and we are also going to tackle our first infrastructure project in this episode. Suzerain is a political sim RPG style game where you play as Anton Rayne, the recently elected president of Sordland. So first things first, let's see what the newspapers have to say. Rayne spoke of change and hope. President Anton Rayne has been sworn into duty in a great ceremony in Holsword. Thousands have attended the ceremony where President Rayne has met with his supporters for the first time after his election. In his inauguration, Rayne spoke about hope and change and all the good stuff that presidents usually say in inauguration speeches. New assembly begins duty. President Anton Rayne has been elected 4th president of Sordland in the 7th Swordist elections. The United Sordland Party has won the election on Sunday with just over 37% of the vote, while Franz Richter, the leader of the People's Freedom and Justice Party, could gain just over 20%. The National Front Party got 11%. Communist Party and Workers' Party of Bludia both got below 10%. Rumberg. I guess that's the main bad guy of the game. Rumberg coming south. Our foreign policy analysts who are reviewing the recent aggressive military and diplomatic developments of Rumberg have come to the conclusion that it is likely that Rumberg will try to push further south, threatening the territories of Sordland, Wayland, and possibly Agnolia. The annexation of Dome many decades ago was just a beginning. Rumberg seems to be on the quest to secure all strategic resources in eastern Mercopa. Now, they've really put work into this game with backstories on just about everything, and you get a little Wikipedia type pop-up here that tells of everything that's highlighted. So the Kingdom of Rumberg, commonly known as Rumberg, is a constitutional monarchy situated in northern Mercopa. It is the largest country on the Mercopan continent by size, spanning the entire north from west to east. It has a monarch and a whole lot of other stuff. Look at that. In case you're wondering, Rumberg is right here. Very powerful. Okay, now that we've got the news out of the way, read the report from Dyer, increasing homelessness. The region of Bergia is among the worst hit regions in Sordland, where homelessness has skyrocketed since the economic recession. The number of homeless in the city of Dyer is more likely to have increased by 25% in the last year. Dyer is my home city, so that should be something I should, kind of care about. The rise was particularly stark among Bludish people, where homelessness increased by 72% in just 6 years. It is reported that homelessness is among ethnic minorities has reached the highest level in more than a decade. The Bludish minority of the region now account for up to 47% of all homeless people there. Sucks to be Bludish. Okay, here we've got our decision to invest in several different major infrastructure plans. In the capital, we have a report to read and a meeting on media strategy. Public opinion report. People's views on the need for democratic reform in the government structure has changed over the last decade. Reformist propaganda from the leader of the People's Freedom and Justice Party, Franz Richter, have resulted in a massive increase in demand for democratic reform. It is estimated that currently 55% of the population supports reformist ideas. So it is clear what the people want. Let's get into our meeting on media strategy. Lucian and Peter arrived at my office to talk about recent developments and the media strategy. They both took their seats across from me. Lucian put on his reading glasses and quickly went over some documents. Peter turned to Lucian and nodded. Let's begin. First of all, Lucian, you mentioned that Marcel Caranti contacted you, and he would be Sordis businessman, philanthropist, entrepreneur, who is the son of media, blah, blah, blah. Pretty important guy. The Carantis have always been known as one of the richest and most influential families in Sordland. Marcel Caranti was no exception. He was the oldest son of basically what I just pulled up over there. Richest man in the entirety of Sordland. Lucian turned to me. He has offered to meet with you, Mr. President. Now here's where your choices make a difference in the direction the story goes. Each one leads you down a different path. So, what does he want? Why is Conrath sending his son? And why should I meet with him? It's a good question. After the passing of his father, that would answer why he sent his son, because he's dead. May he rest in peace. Marcel aims to become the next CEO of the HOS conglomerate. He mentioned a productive collaboration. They are a powerful and influential media conglomerate. To start with, they own the Sordland Today newspaper, the Sordish Broadcasting Corporation, and which means it would be wise to have them by our side. Sorry for interrupting. What does this productive collaboration entail? Let's consider our options first. No need to be hasty, and signs like there is potential there. Let's find out what it entails. He did not wish to explain the details over the phone, but rather in person. I believe I will be receiving a call from him sometime soon. However, as Peter said, they have substantial power over the content of the media outlets. Headlines, radio shows, that is what he would be offering. What he wants in return is what we need to understand. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. First, we need to determine our general approach to media. I'm no media expert, but Lucian made some very interesting arguments at the preparation meeting yesterday. There are two ways we can approach the media. One of them is by influencing it, which has clear advantages. The other is by keeping it independent. Well, the media as a tool to be used is definitely true to our real world. Whether they realize it or not, they are. But we are going to go with the media must be independent. Ideally, yes, but an unpopular leader will not be able to pass even the easiest reforms. It is of the utmost importance to maintain public popularity and avoid any damaging scandals or mistakes. I must stress one thing, Mr. President. The more people we have supporting our agenda, the more we can accomplish. With someone on our side and an influential media organization, we can do this very easily. That's a good point. Let's see. I see what you're getting at. Two wrongs don't make a right, and I share your opinion. So does Peter, my vice president. You both are aware of my certain expertise in public opinion swaying. I will make sure the media is on our side. 2 knocks were heard at the door. Here, we'll even do it. There. Role playing at its finest here. Who is it? It's Livia, Mr. President. And you would be my first secretary. Okay. My new secretary entered the office. I should just keep reading. Every time I hover over something to find out what's going on, they just tell me anyway. Her dark curls bounced as she crossed the room to my desk. She spoke with a slight lilt in her voice. Excuse me, Mr. President. And no, I'm not going to do a lilt. I don't really know how, so... Mr. Galad's secretary has been calling me and wanting me to relay a message. Marcel Caranti, the new CEO for HOS Conglomerate, is on the line for Mr. Galad. Well, the ball is in our court now. Would you like to talk to him, sir, or would you like me to? Sniff them out, buddy. Sniff them out. Right away, sir. Connecting the call to line 1. Olivia left the room and the phone started ringing. Lucian picked up the phone and started to listen. A few minutes passed as the two talked over the phone. Good news indeed. Congratulations, Mr. Caranti. Thank you for contacting me about this. We will talk later. Lucian hung up the phone. What was so important that it couldn't wait? He was just elected CEO by the board of directors. He offered a partnership deal regarding his media branch. He is inviting us to his resort near Conriat for a meeting. The board has decided rather quickly. It seems that gave him the confidence to approach us again. He's going to offer a real deal, and now has the power of the conglomerate too. The choice is up to you, Mr. President. I can set up the meeting soon. Yeah, let's go to the meeting, see what he wants. I'll set things up right away. Expect a worthwhile meeting next month. It's settled then. Looking forward to next month. I wonder if he has a pool. Vice President's kind of a goofball, if you haven't figured that out yet. It appears we're done for today. Quick and easy meetings are always a good thing. We will continue where we left off later. Thank you for your time. Good work with Marcel, Lucian. I better acknowledge both of them. I'm a all-around polite guy. Doesn't he look polite? I think he does. Lucian and Peter gathered their documents and promptly left my office. We were already getting the attention of key figures, and potentially dangerous ones. Alright, what's next to do in Whole Sword? Campaign finance bill, that sounds like fun. Read the report from Whole Sword. It's the party committee report. The Reform Committee reports that any potential change to the Constitution in the direction of the reformists will likely result in strong opposition from the National Front Party. Okay. Isn't that my party? Maybe not. I think that's my party, isn't it? No, we are the USP. Alright, well. Oh, where'd it go? Wasn't done reading it. Oh, well. Some more newspaper articles from Sordland today. Corinth Caranti passed away. That's the father of this media mogul we're going to be meeting. A radical. Glamorous inaugural ball. The whole sword elite gathers for a lavish state ball. Many citizens in the country are uncertain about their own future, but the state has no problem with wasting taxpayers' money right from the start. We demand that these traditions of wasteful nature will become a thing of the past once the president settles in. The team here at the Radical will keep fighting for a better, more equal tomorrow for us all. Sordland's regional trade. As the Rayne administration starts its first term, there is a question in all of our heads. What will the regional international trade policy be? Due to the strategic geopolitical location of Sordland, historically Agnolia and Wayland have been natural trading partners. Depending on the direction of the Rayne administration, we think it likely that a new trade deal will be brokered with at least one of these partners in the near term. All in all, regardless of which trade partners the administration decides to go with, one thing is for sure. Regional trade will boost the ailing economy. The real question is, does Vogsland or Lesbia think about Sordland? What do they think about us? Let's kind of scroll around, see if there's anything. Nope, just these two things here. That's the campaign finance bill and the infrastructure project over here. We're going to go with the infrastructure project. The Ministry of Economy has put forward two bold plans for mega infrastructure projects that would help the economic recession in the long term. Investing in projects of this scale will take up some portion of our budget, but could prove worthwhile if accomplished successfully. So invest in a mega infrastructure project, which decreases our government budget by 1, or shoot it down. We need to boost our economy, so we're going to invest in a mega infrastructure project. Discussion of the potential infrastructure projects in Lock Haven. The view towards the Marquian Sea from Lock Haven was nothing short of exquisite. The seaside state residence, fittedly named the Blue Mansion, was large, fine, and accommodating. But enjoying the luxurious mansion wasn't the main reason for our visit. We gathered the economic team here to discuss the new infrastructure investment project, and this would be my Minister of Economy, my Minister of Rural Development, and my Minister of the Interior. Half an hour had already passed since the start of the meeting. Unfortunately, I did not even have the chance to have my usual afternoon coffee. I don't even think I had an inaugural ball, so we just got right to work. Looking at the view from the windows, I let my mind drift for a couple of seconds. Simon's voice brought me back to the ongoing discussion. Mr. President, we need to focus on boosting the economy as quickly as possible. One of the fastest ways to achieve this is through infrastructure projects. Okay. Seems I wasn't really paying attention. I was daydreaming about coffee. I'll just nod. On the one hand, businessmen are complaining about the slow logistical rail network between Holsword and Lock Haven. Lily started talking as soon as Simon took a breath. On the other hand, citizens are criticizing the lack of a proper highway connection between Lock Haven and Arvory. The narrow roads by the seaside are not only dangerous, but also difficult to traverse. So it looks like so far our choices are a logistical rail network and better roads. We need to heed the calls of business in these days of economic recession. Yes, I know I added a word there. We need to pick the most profitable option for the economic growth, and the citizens and their demands matter most. See, now this one's really going to affect the way the story goes. As to the unwritten rule of my playthrough, the For the People playthrough, I would probably go with this one. However, I'm a firm believer that the increasing profitability for the economy will benefit everybody in the long run, and we need to have a pretty wide economic improvement here, because we're kind of in a bit of a hole. So we are going to go with option number 2. We need to pick the most profitable option for economic growth, which is obviously connecting our 2 most economically powerful cities. It is not the business people that suffer, but the ordinary folk. What really matters, though, is that we can accomplish something tangible in your first economic act. We must prove our administrative capabilities. The people must know that this administration can get things done. We must improve the economy of the nation and bring it out of recession. We're going with that. Rising tide. Rising tide. Therefore, I define 2 important projects for your attention: the H3 Highway Project and the L1 High-Speed Railway Project. Mr. Hull repositioned himself on a chair to take a more comfortable posture. The ministry can only support one project at a time with the current capacity and budget. Let's move on to the details of each. So which one do you want to hear about first? The highway project. Why not? The H3 project aims to improve the abysmal state of the road network in the Agland region bordering Agnolia. The area is home to several million Agno-Sordish and Sordish who feel neglected. There are no proper highway connections to and from Agnoland. The mayor of Arvory, Eric Neal, has been asking for a bigger budget to develop the regional infrastructure. He told us that even trucks are having a hard time traveling through the main roads. The increased traffic is causing trouble for people commuting in and out of the region. We can't leave the request of Eric Neal, a party member, unanswered. That must be cumbersome for the citizens. I agree this could also hurt local business, or not sure if this region is a priority for us right now. Wonder if I shrink this down, hide. Alright. Let's go find this place. Arvery right here. I agree, this could also hurt local business. It is, bless their souls. I'm happy we're thinking alike on the matter. Let us look at the map. Look at the map. I looked at the map. Lilius was pointing at Lockhaven. Alright. The H3 highway route starts here and leads to Lenkirk, which is right here. Lockhaven is a major port, so having road access, or quality road access between them, what looks like the most major port in the country to the rest of the country, could be extremely beneficial to the economy. The H3 highway route, okay. From there it goes all the way to Arvery, which is up here. Alright. As a result, the road network towards the Agnolian capital Stallport will improve substantially. She paused and leaned forward in her chair. I saw the central government continuously neglect the Agnol Sordish-dominated regions when I was mayor. Is this administration going to continue that kind of negligence? We should no longer neglect a key region for our trade with Agnolia. We should make Agno-Sordish citizens be respected as swords like all of us. Makes little sense to put investment in such a remote region. We're going to go with this one. They should be respected, same as everybody else. I am for all Sordish citizens without separation or preference. Therefore, we should think about the country overall. It has to be pointed out that the highway would be less beneficial in the near term. I have to disagree, says Lilius. It will increase the speed of transportation through the region. Our citizens will be quite pleased if we can successfully accomplish this. Besides, if we enter trade talks with Agnolia, they would see the investment as a positive sign. Let's hear about the other one. Let's hear about the railway project. Your predecessor, Alfonso, has failed to deliver on this campaign promise. But now we have the opportunity to start the construction of the groundbreaking railway project. As you know, our current trains cannot meet the standards of today. As many other countries adopt this new electric engine technology to power their trains, we fall one step behind. News about the new electric trains in United Cantana, who would be Federalist Socialist Republic situated on the continent of Cantana. Alright, news about the new electric trains in United Cantana has piqued the business interest. Ugh. They too want to transport resources and material from Holsword to Lockhaven with great speed and efficiency. Agreed, we must obtain the high-quality technology of superpowers. This could also empower the business and bring investment. Major cities of Sordland need more infrastructure to support their growing population, and I'm not fully convinced yet. Please explain further. I'm not fully convinced yet. Both will benefit the economy in the long term. In the short term, the road project would benefit people. So, I want to hear more about the rail project first. Our plan is to upgrade the old L1 line from Holsword to Lockhaven. It will transform to a high-speed rail. Look at the map. Alright, Gus was pointing at Holsword while Simon was looking attentively. Here's Holsword. The planned construction starts right here at the capital. It will go to Anrica first, which is here, and then connect to Gelsword, which is where? Oh, right here. So this is where it goes. Doesn't even go near the ports. Okay. After which it will reach Lockhaven. Alright, not okay, so it does go all the way to the ports. The L1 will significantly boost the economy on the newly linked cities and even the rural areas in between. Lockhaven is our primary port, so the goods unloaded there will be transported to Holsword much faster. Yes, we should link these rural areas in the middle with major cities like Sordland. I believe this would benefit the businesses and Sordland as a whole. Investment in already developed regions makes little sense. What to do? Well, it would benefit business in Sordland as a whole. See, that's the problem, is with them both linking the rail, or the port here. This would side more with the people. It'll benefit business in Sordland as a whole. That's true for wealthy and middle-class citizens of these regions, but not for the poor dears who wouldn't be able to afford the increased ticket prices. The mayor of Anrica, Curtin Lesty, also requested this project to be prioritized. Businessmen in the region will be very content, which increases investment and employment. Therefore, I will recommend the L1 high-speed rail project. I have not settled on a decision, but we move forward. Excellent. What is your final choice, Mr. President? See, I'm kind of leaning towards the highway project. But they made good points about the rail project as well. And we do need to get the economy moving. We're going to go with the highway project. Thank God. I knew you would see reason. The negotiations will begin in the middle of this year. You will be able to award the contract to a corporation of your choice. The ministry estimates that the entire construction will finish in 2 years if every step going forward is executed successfully. Thank you all for your contributions or your thoughts, or is there anything else? That should be all, Mr. President. See you soon, Mr. Rayne. How about Mr. President? There, Lilius. Have a nice day, Mr. President. She's the only one. Really irks me. Show the proper respect. Evening settled on the beautiful coastline of Lockhaven. Okay, so here's our highway project. I knew I saw... But there was another little notification around here somewhere. Okay, campaign finance bill. Sign or veto the campaign finance bill. The Grand National Assembly of the Republic of Sordland. Wow, that's small. The criteria for allocation of public funds shall no longer be accorded to the number of votes won in the general election by a political party. The new criteria shall be proportion of seats won by a political party in the assembly. Political parties shall receive an annual amount of 500,000 Rayne per member of the assembly. This results in a doubling of the USP election budget and a slight increase in the other parties in the assembly, while effectively removing all funding from parties that are below 10% of the election threshold. Portion of the seats, votes won. Wouldn't the two be interconnected? You would think they would be. That is our party. Slight increase. So that kind of locks out the minority parties, like completely locks them out of any type of public funding. I don't really think that would be fair to them. But if they're getting less than 10% of the vote, then people aren't exactly into them. I'm going to veto this. Just because I've never been a big fan of... Well, shit. If I veto it, it'll piss off my own party. I don't really need that. This is why I don't get into politics. Okay, sign or veto. I will eat a cheddar jalapeno Cheeto while I think about this. I don't know. I don't know what to do. It's a tough call. In reality, you see these campaign finance bills pop up every election, so if we were to base our decision on the reality of the situation that every time a party takes power, they change the campaign finance rules to suit them in the next election, I'm leaning towards veto because I think that what we are planning on doing, hopefully if it works, we will get the votes of the people with or without large amounts of campaign finance. So we are going to veto it. What's next? Investment in Arcanian company stocks. An opportunity to buy stocks from an Arcasian company. Let's read the news first. President vetoes bill. The campaign finance bill has been vetoed by President Rayne after its approval from the Grand National Assembly by majority vote on Friday following a 3-hour debate. Franz Richter, who also objected to funding package, says it contained too much unfairness in the allocation of the budget. Also sought to delay proceedings by demanding a formal recorded vote, but was overruled. The bill passed the Assembly, but failed to become law by President Rayne's decision. Okay. Unfair campaign finance bill crushed. So it appears I may have made friends with the radical. A new bill that further expands on the unfairness of our election system has been approved by the Grand National Assembly and was later vetoed by President Rayne. Rayne deserves credit for crushing the undemocratic proposal, even though it came from his own party and would have benefited himself. The bill sought to change the rules of eligibility of the public funds that are reserved for every political party in Sordland. It eliminates every party from eligibility to the funds apart from the 3 that are currently in the Assembly. The insane proposal would also have resulted in the governing United Sordland's party's share from the funds to double. Luckily, President Rayne showed us that he can go against his own party when it needs to be done. And hope it doesn't come back to bite him in the ass in the end. Alright, let's see what this is all about. A personal investment opportunity has been relayed by Mr. Manger. Who would you be? Oh, Gus. Alright. An inexperienced stockbroker in Ventry City, Arcadia, is selling valuable shares of Armadine Industries, an up-and-coming electronics manufacturing company. We could invest or let the opportunity pass. Okay, well. I'm going to invest because up-and-coming electronics company doesn't seem like a bad thing for the future, and it could make me some money. Now I am flat-ass broke, so... Alright, scrolling around the country, things are quiet. See what Whole Sword has. Reception at the Inaugural Ball. Fantastic, we finally get our Inaugural Ball after whole day of business. I had just finished buttoning up my suit jacket when the doorbell rang. The Presidential Guard had arrived to pick us up for the Inaugural Ball. Nice timing on the dryer going off in the background. The ball was a 3-decade-old tradition. Breathless anticipation by politicians, bureaucrats, and the press. Breathlessly anticipated. My God. All eyes were about to be on me. I called on Monica to get the children ready. Looking in the mirror, I straightened my tie and took a deep breath. After tonight, there would be no turning back. Apparently that's my daughter, Deanna. Suddenly, Deanna hugged me from behind, startling me a little. Monica had fixed her hair into an elaborate braid woven through with ribbons. Papa! I'm not going to do voices. So Deanna's going to sound like a grown man. Mama told me it's time to go. Hello, darling, I'm ready. Where's your brother? Tell your mother I will be ready very soon. Stroke her hair. We're not going to go with that one. I'll be ready very soon. Okay, Papa, I can't wait to see the palace. Where were you guys all day? It was almost time to leave. The big ball is starting in less than an hour. Now, where's my first lady? Darling, Frank, it's time. Monica, Frank, enough fussing around. Let's get a move on. Monica came down the stairs. That's my wife, Monica. She was wearing a simple yet elegant beige sheath dress and short heels. Her hair had been neatly pinned into some form of 50s fashion, showing off a pearl earring I had given her for our 15th wedding anniversary. All those years she had stayed by my side. Now we were about to begin the most challenging chapter in our lives yet. How do you do, Mr. President? Kiss her hand, embrace her, just stand there and stare at her. Okay. She extended a gloved hand. I raised it to my lips. Now where the hell is Frank? Monica, my love, you look as gorgeous as the day we married. How do I look? Got any broccoli in my teeth? Alrighty. Now there's that charm that got you elected. Frank, is this guy, trudged down the stairs. This thing itches. Frank tugged at the collar of his new tuxedo. He seemed ill at ease. Are you good to go, Frank? I'm glad to have you with us for this big night. Don't make me wait again. Slap him upside the head. Son, I'm glad to have you with me. Sure, Dad, I'm just dying to go. Okay. Sarcasm will get you nowhere with me, boy. Papa, are these people going to be around us from now on? She pointed at the Presidential Guard at the door to the house. Yes, Sordland's most important family needs extra protection. Unfortunately, yes. They can't leave our side until my term ends. You'll get used to it. And these people are our friends. I might as well pump her ego a little bit. It's alright, baby. You're here to make sure nothing bad happens to your papa or his family. Monica held Deanna's hand. Together, flanked by the guards, we walked out to the door. Halfway to the car, Frank stopped abruptly and turned towards me. Dad, do I really have to go? Couldn't I stay home instead? Sounds familiar. I'm nervous myself, Frank, but I'd feel a lot more confident with my son by my side. It's a party thrown for me. Don't you want to support your father? You'll love it, son. I'm sure there'll be plenty of pretty girls to dance with. Don't make me angry, Frank. Should we pump his ego or lay on the guilt trip? Sounds like he could use an ego boost. Frank smiled reluctantly. Well, when you put it like that, sure, let's go. The Presidential Guard showed us the way as red and blue lights flashed around us. Serge, my driver, ushered us into an armored limousine. The motorcade started moving towards the palace. I gazed out the window, deep in thought. Anton, what are you thinking about? Nothing. Nice car, isn't it? With all that's been happening, I'm wondering if I made the right choice. I was thinking we came a long way together, haven't we? No, we were kind of heading there anyway. I know you have a lot on your mind, but you deserve to relax tonight. Just remember, no matter what happens, the children and I will always be there for you. I'm skeptical of my son. I'm going to help Papa fix everything. Frank rolled his eyes. I know you will, dear. That means a great deal to me. Let's just enjoy the night. Stay silent. Let's just enjoy this night. After what seemed like just a few minutes, the convoy slowed to a halt. Serge rolled down the limousine's soundproof partition. We are here, sir. Hope you enjoyed the drive. I did, Serge. Thank you. How are you today, Serge? I'm just as good as I can be. But today is your day, sir. I'm glad you're in charge now. Well, at least you appreciate me. You know, my entire family voted for you. Oh, good. That's good to know. Thank you and your family. I'm here with all of your support. I'm going to go with my original reaction to that. Serge opened the door for me. The normally imposing palace was festooned with garish banners that nearly made it look cheerful. A line of shiny luxury sedans stretched around it. Politicians, bureaucrats, and celebrities, the creme de la creme of the Sordish elite, streamed inside the building. Now remember, I came from a poor background, so stuff like this may make me a little nervous. Good luck out there, Mr. President. I'll see you on the trip home, bro. I stepped out and immediately found myself surrounded by loud voices and camera flashes. Hordes of eager journalists thrust their portable microphones my way. Reporter. My guards fended off most of them, but one woman managed to dodge them and corner me. I recognized the Sordish Broadcasting Company logo on her press lanyard. Mr. President! Mr. President! You plan on working together with the opposition parties on the expected constitutional reforms? My administration will bring real change. This night is for celebration. I'm not going to talk about my policies now. If the opposition is willing to support us, we are going to work with everybody. I could dust her. Give the generic answer. I could give the unity, we love everybody answer. Or the, this one sticks out to me, and I'll tell you why. Now, if I say if the opposition is willing to support us, shows that I'm willing to work with the opposing side, but it also shows that I expect to be top dog, so we're going to go with that. Mr. Richter clarified that as long as you hold your promise of democratization, they will support you on these issues to the end. What do you think about that statement? I welcome it. This is a challenge for us all. We want the other parties to join him in this endeavor. Honestly, I don't expect much from him. I can't comment since I haven't seen his statement yet. Well, I plan on holding to my promises, so we're all in this together. Sordland one, Sordland all. One more question. One of your first acts as president was to veto a campaign finance law that would have deprived small parties of public funds while increasing those channeled to your own. Are we seeing the beginning of a more egalitarian administration? Don't get carried away. I've had it with your questions. Guards! Okay. Yes, no political party deserves to be silenced. They only get 10% of the vote anyway, so how much power do they actually have? I just don't want to cause too much of a stir on my first day. I've had enough of you. That's enough, ma'am, said one of the guards while nudging the reporter away from me with the butt of his AK-47. A path through the crowd was now open, and we quickly made our way to the entrance of the palace. At the same time, a dozen fireworks went off. The entrance was decorated with beautiful ribbons in Sordland's colors of white, yellow, and maroon. A lush maroon carpet had been rolled down the stairs. We entered the lobby and joined the throngs of people making their way towards the ballroom. Behind me, I heard a familiar voice. Peter. There they are, the most beautiful family in Sordland. Uncle Peter! Hi, Uncle Peter. It's great to see you. You two are growing faster than I am getting wiser. Are you sure you've gotten any wiser, Peter? Sight for sore eyes, Peter, Mr. Vice President. We are here to enjoy ourselves. No need to be formal. We can even bust on him a little bit. Are you sure you've gotten any wiser, Peter? Maybe not. After all, I'm sticking with you. Oh, right back at you, Mr. President. Happy to see a familiar face, Peter. Evelyn? Peter's wife approached us and shook our hands with a firmness that belied her delicate features. Congratulations, Anton. I have to say, the results were clear to me from the beginning. Appreciate it, Evelyn. Means a lot. Thank you. We both worked hard to make it happen. I wish I was as sure as you. There's a woman behind every successful man. Yeah. Let's see. What do we want to go with here? We both worked very hard. We know you did. You deserve the position. And tonight, we reap the rewards. I hope you will show the same enthusiasm. Why, where we go. A drinker. So, read the option. You read my mind. Peter grinned and beckoned a roving waiter. The four of us of champagne. How are you? I'm more than this roller coaster ride over with. But of course, now the real work begins. Parts to the your bad Marys. She doesn't sound like she likes my wife very much. Don't be so old-fashioned, Evelyn. I plan to use my presidency to advance the position of women throughout Sordland. Equal rights for our sex. As long as you don't burn. Am I right, Peter? That could probably be abilities to their husband, and we'll work together to achieve that. That's my wife. Never can. Smile. Ballroom. Shut up, you little nag. Yeah. We left the lobby and made our way inside by a noisy crowd. But this time, it was the politicians who sought to appease the new authority in Sordland. I spent the next 5 hours being official and making changes. We finally settled down at our dinner table. Then another looking around in confusion. Peter and I turned towards each other, realization dawning on both of our faces. Fireworks! No, gunshots! As soon as Monica heard from her seat. Shield Monica and kids, or scream get. I threw myself on Monica, Deanna, and Frank to shield them. Papa, what's happening? I knew it. We never should have gone. Chaos broke out as some guests flung themselves under their tables and others ran towards the doors screaming. Okay, we are going to be finishing this in OBS. The stream crashed. Not sure how much is missing out of this before I noticed that the stream was dead, but basically what happened is we were at the Inaugural Ball, having a great time, small talk, all the good things, drinks of course, and then someone started shooting. So let's continue with the story. Carl turned to us with a serious face as we were about to round a corner. Quiet, please. Sorry, I talk when I get nervous. He just told my vice president to shut up. Something I didn't do. Peter, shut up! Everyone's telling Peter to shut up but me. You guys are rude. Carl flipped a switch on the wall and a panel opened, revealing a hidden staircase leading to a large reinforced door. Inside, a set of emergency lights flickered on. The safe room was comfortable and spacious with expensive-looking leather sofas. Small security monitors on the wall displayed grainy footage of each room in the palace. There was a boardroom and a pantry containing enough provisions to last us months. Monica and Evelyn sat in the chair, children down, and started wiping their tears. Carl stepped away from us and made a few radio calls. When he was done, he returned to me and Peter. So what's the status? Not the best inaugural ball I've ever been to. Are we under attack? Who's attacking us? What's going on? So tell me, Carl, do I have clowns for a security force? This one seems harsh. This one seems whiny. Try and make light of the situation, maybe ease the fears of my children. Peter let out a nervous laugh. That probably didn't help, thanks, Pete. Certainly not, sir. Carl's radio suddenly crackled to life. Every second felt like an eternity as he pressed his ear to the receiver. When it fell silent, he turned to us. Good news, we are not in any danger at the moment. The situation has been dealt with, and the perimeter has been secured by the guards and the police. He glanced towards Monica, Evelyn, and the kids. If I may, sir? He gestured towards a more private corner of the room and started speaking more quietly. This is what we know so far. We have confirmed that at least 2 people were gunned down in front of the palace. The attacker is one of them, and we have reason to believe he was working alone. He fired 3 shots at an MP, 1 to the head, 2 to the body, instantly killing him. Presidential guards at the palace immediately shot and killed the attacker. He has not yet been identified and will require an investigation. The MP that was killed was identified as Bernard Circus. Sordland poet, novelist, short story. He's from Dyer too, so I may know him. Romantic communist. He joined the Red Youth during the Sordland Civil War. Okay. This is huge, Anton. This will cause a lot of problems. A lot of problems. Peter pulled out 2 cigarettes and handed me one. He then turned to Evelyn. I could hear him trying to reassure her that everything was going to be alright. Monica was still trying to tend to Deanna and Frank, as Frank paced the room, mumbling that he should have stayed at home. I could comfort Monica and the kids. I could whine to Peter, or I could stand off in the corner and smoke my cigarette. Let's tend to our family. Nothing like this will ever happen again. I'll make sure of it. We are safe. I'll make sure everyone's going to be fine. We can't be sure of anything anymore, Anton. Well, thanks, Monica. I'm doing this for the kids. I lit my cigarette and took a deep drag. I was going to see this through and keep my family safe. At all cost. I crushed the cigarette on the ashtray. So our inaugural ball was train wreck. And we have read the report from Whole Sword and an emergency meeting. We are going to read the report from Whole Sword. Security measures at the Capitol have been heightened after the murder of Bernard Circus. The mayor of Whole Sword reports that everything is under control. Security around the Maroon Palace has been increased with the combined efforts of the Whole Sword Police Department and the Presidential Guard. Additionally, the entrance procedure to the palace are being revised with advice from security professionals. The police chief, Carl Geiser, reported that an investigation has been launched into the murder of Bernard Circus. All right, let's read the newspapers. Rayne welcomes Richter's words. President Rayne gave signal about a cooperation with Franz Richter of the PFJP ahead of the inaugural ball. Regarding the remarks of Richter about a possible cooperation to fix the current problem of Swordish political institutions. I welcome it. This is a problem of all of us, said President Rayne. Richter has long been vocal about his democratization plans, but maybe his demands for constitutional change might finally become a reality if President Rayne leads a bill together with Richter's PFJP. MP shot, nation in shock. Sordland's been shocked by grave news today that an elected member of parliament has been shot dead in a suspected political assassination. The fact that such a violent act happened at the heart of the Capitol during the new president's inauguration celebrations has worried many citizens. The Red Youth, let's see who they are, political organization with alleged connections to a number of insurgent attacks against the Swordish government. Red Youth members participated in protests against the Arcasian Second Fleet anchoring in... Okay. Red Youth is reported to have promised revenge. This seems likely like it has the potential to spark... Oh my god. Take two. This seems like it has the potential to be a spark that would swirl Sordland into the political violence of the 20s, which is what we want to avoid. But that's going to be for a future episode. I'm going to call this one to a close right now. If you like the episode, hit that like button. Once again, give the series a chance, give the game a chance. As the story develops, you may find yourself drawn into it as I did. Leave your thoughts in the comments below. I'm really curious to hear what you guys think about this game so far. If you would like to follow along with us as we take Sordland in a new and more prosperous direction, hopefully not get killed in the process, hit that subscribe button and you can come along. As always, J76NY saying thank you very much for watching and have yourself a very, very good night. Preferably better than President Rayne.